entitled European Woman Told to Go Back Home by an African Man. Audacious, naughty, and entitled, that is the discussion that we're gonna be having in today's video. Imagine the audacity, telling an African man to come out of a specific country in his own continent and move to another one, because that's where he comes from. African leaders or presidents, I hope you're watching this. This is what your investors are turning your countries into. They are turning it into their own countries and their own lands. This is how Christopher Columbus colonized the Americas. He went for exploration, and what did he get in return? A new country. And that's where this palm-colored woman comes from. And now, she's here to do the same thing in an African country, South Africa to be specific. And why a lot of palm-coloreds feeling entitled as if they own South Africa right now? Because this is not the first palm-colored to say something like this. Recently, another man, a palm-colored, was saying that there's gonna be a civil war if palm-coloreds are chased out of this country. If you're an African, tell me, why are we allowing this?
Don't they? I mean, if that's what you're saying, they're running away from those wonderful opportunities. Why don't they take up the opportunity? In fact, why don't you take up the opportunity? Why would you come and make your fortune here in South Africa when, as you've described it, you could be making a fortune in Zimbabwe? Why are you here?
Because I'm part of the problem in Zimbabwe. My attitude of thinking that I had to come and take up the opportunity that was offered to me here.
So why don't you go
instead
home?
of minding
May I ask you that? Why do you not
I am
go
going home. But
are
right
you?
now, I've also got family in South Africa. I've got South African children, and those South African children don't just allow me to just stand up and leave, but I do have projects that I'm taking part in Zimbabwe because I've learned that those resources are the most important thing.
If you have such faith in your country, in Zimbabwe, I would say and I would think you would get up and you would take your family and you would go and fix up the future of Zimbabwe. If you're saying there's land, if you're saying there's minerals, if you're saying there is so much wealth and opportunities for you there, you're living a contradiction.
No, I'm not living a contradiction.
You certainly are. By sitting here, you're living a contradiction. Because people are suffering in Zimbabwe.
So why are people not
languishing
Why
here?
are people not going to the Netherlands? Why are Germans not going back to Germany? Is it because their countries are bad? Is it because they're running away from problems in the UK or in the States? Why aren't Europeans going? What are you doing here?
I live here. This is my home. I'm not running away from it.
Why are you living here instead of Europe? Why did your great-grandparents come here instead of Europe?
We're not talking about grandparents. We're talking about me.
No,
we're talking about
you've made it sound like a Zimbabwe needs to go back to Zimbabwe to show that Zimbabwe is working. So why are Europeans not going back to Europe? Why are Asians not going back to Asia? Why are they staying in South Africa?
The context of the conversation is that you're saying that Zimbabwe is a beautiful country with great opportunities and people have run away from there to become waiters. The context is you are living here in South Africa when you could be going back and making that country work. That's the context.
You also forgot that I was asked to come here. Somebody thought my skills were important here.
I've been asked to go to other countries, but I believe in this country.
But why don't you believe in Europe?
No, I believe in South Africa.
Why don't you believe in Europe?
I believe in my country.
Why don't you believe in Europe?
African leaders, is this what you want us to inherit after you're long gone? Is this what you want your descendants to inherit after you're long gone? Palm-coloreds are now having the audacity of chasing our own people from our countries. Countries that people fought for all over Africa. These guys are just coming here to sit and be comfortable over the things that our people fought for. Now tell me, is this the South Africa that Nelson Mandela envisioned? And when Julius Malema stands up and speaks against these people, even fellow Africans stand against him. Now that is to show that we are pretty much divided amongst ourselves. There's been some seeds of discord planted in our territories by the same people. And it's ironic how it's happening at a strategic time such as this, with everything happening in the DRC and everything happening even in South Africa. A lot of Africans, we are divided amongst ourselves. We have been compromised and these guys have been watching everything. They know that Africa is vulnerable right now because our puppet leaders have shown their true colors and that they are obedient to the West. They are not leaders for the people anymore. They are leaders for the West. Show me where the money is and I will show you where the resources are so that you can exploit them. These are the leaders that lead African countries today. And it is so sad. And what are African people doing about this right now? African people are praying in churches and speaking in tongues. Some are even holding crusades as we are talking. They have blinded us with a religion that doesn't serve us. They have whitewashed a Messiah that was born to pretty much serve the black race. It is just sad. We go to all our monetary resources, things that we've worked hard for, and take to churches. Instead of putting those resources together and creating businesses or organizations and corporations that will help fight corruption in our countries. They've brainwashed us. and turned us against ourselves. And recently I was watching a Chinese person on TikTok talking about how the West is turning Africans against themselves, tribes against tribes, religions against religions, and now they are sending some of their military personnel in countries such as Congo. They recently exposed themselves and how they overthrow African governments. But African people are not aware about this. We're not aware that the palm colors that we host in our own countries might just be plotting against us. But in turn, what do we do to them? We smile. We show them our good sides. They slap us on the left cheek. We show them the right one. But hey, that's what we were taught, right? But you tell me what you think in the comment section. I will see you in the next video. And tell me what you think about this discussion. Please like, share, and subscribe.